There was a time when I gave up on my dream of becoming a professional artist. Not because I didn't want it bad enough, but because I believed I just wasn't talented enough. I thought talent was something you either had or didn't have. And I didn't have it, and I was pretty sure I was never gonna get it. So I buried my dream. I settled for a safe career, at least in terms of paycheck. But everything changed on the day that I discovered the idea of the growth mindset. This one simple shift in thinking literally changed my life, and it can change your life too. I'm Tim Packer. I've been fortunate to have an extremely successful career as a professional artist, and every week I put out a new video specifically aimed at helping artists who dream of making a living from their work. So if you find my content helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe, hit the like button, and click on the bell. And if you're really serious about making a living as an artist, you can click on the link in the description to get 5 free chapters of my new book. And that provides a detailed step-by-step guide to create a livable income from your art. Okay, let's get back to how mindset changed my life and how it can change yours as well. When I was about 35, I read an interview with Harley Brown, who was a successful Canadian artist. And in this interview, he said that talent was highly overrated. He said the idea that talent was some kind of magical gift bestowed on people was just a load of BS. And he went on to say that talent was just the result of hard work. And if you were willing to work hard enough, he 100% guaranteed you could be successful as an artist. At first, I didn't want to hear that. If he was right, that meant I'd given up on my dream way too soon. And if I'd only stuck with it, maybe I could have been living my dream life now instead of living with my plan B. Now, my initial reaction when I read this was like, to heck with you, Harley Brown. You're probably one of these gifted people. And they all say it was just a matter of hard work. But we know they really had something special that the rest of us don't have. And then a little voice in the back of my head said, what if he's right? What if I really could develop the talent sufficient that I could actually make a living as an artist and live the life that I dreamed of? So in that moment, I made a decision. I decided that I would live my life for 1 year as though it was true and as though I believed in it. I would act as if I could improve, as though my skills weren't fixed, but they were buildable. And everything changed once I made that decision. Now, there was just one problem. Harley Brown didn't give a roadmap about how I should go about building my skills and knowledge. So I had to figure it out all on my own. And that involved hours and hours of reading books, watching videos, reading magazines, picking the brains of other artists who were more successful than I was. And one of my biggest breakthroughs was coming to a realization of what we describe as talent actually is. And I believe it's just the sum total of your skills, knowledge, experience, and creativity. And all of these things are improvable, and that your ultimate talent is really unlimited. So then I asked myself, what's the one skill or piece of conceptual knowledge that was a weakness, and if I improved upon it, it would have the biggest impact on all of my work? And for me, it was kind of a no-brainer. It was composition. The way in which we organize the shapes, values, edges, colors on our page. I was horrible at composition. I had absolutely zero intuitive sense, and I got so frustrated in workshops because instructors would say, like, don't just paint things the way they are, move things around. And I was like, well, move what, where? I really didn't have a clue. I thought if I move something, I could be moving the only thing that's in a good place and moving it to a bad place. So I dove in. I hunted down every book, every article, every workshop, every video about composition, and slowly it started to make sense. In less than a year, my work had improved dramatically. I was getting into jury shows. I was winning awards. I was even selling my work. And that's when I became a believer. Within 3 short years of that realization, we were having a conversation, my wife and I, about me actually quitting my job to pursue my dream life as an artist. Now, when I look back on the decision to really focus on mastering composition, those are things that I now call dominoes. Those are the things that if you knock them over, they're going to have a huge effect on everything else you do going forward, just like a row of dominoes falling over. And that's been my approach for the last 20 years. It's like, what's the next domino that's going to have the most impact on my art and my business? And then I focus all my energy on knocking that one over. And then once that happens, it's like, what's the next? What's the next? What's the next? Now, at first, my dominoes were all about art and the creation of art. Then it became about business. Then it became about technology, digital film, digital editing, the internet, social media, teaching online. But throughout my entire career, again, I always just look for what's the one thing now that is a weakness that's holding me back. And if I mastered it, that would have a huge impact on everything I do going forward. Now, I've been fortunate to have an incredibly successful career, but it all started with that one choice. That choice to believe that the growth mindset is actually real and that it works. And here's the real game changer for you. Your mindset is a choice. You can choose to believe it or not to believe it. And as Henry Ford once famously said, whether you believe you can do something or whether you believe you can't do something, you are absolutely right, because everything starts with belief. And here's a key to developing a positive mindset. You've probably heard the saying that your mindset is the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and I believe that's absolutely true. The people you surround yourself with are either going to reinforce that belief that your dreams could come true, or they're going to try to destroy that dream. If you're around negative people, you'll adopt their limits. If you're around people who believe in growth, you will rise. Now, here's a real story from my life back when I was a police officer. At the time, I was the president of a small local art association, and I mentioned to a few of the members that I was thinking about quitting my job, cashing in my pension to paint full-time. And they all thought I was crazy. They warned me not to do it, and they did everything they could to discourage me from taking that step, because they believed that success as an artist just wasn't possible. Now, at the same time, I'd just been elected to the Canadian Society of Painters in Watercolor, and that was a group of some of Canada's top painters. When I told them about my plan, the reaction was totally different. They encouraged me. They offered to help. They offered to mentor me. They believed it was possible because they were actually living that life. And so I made a decision that those were the people I was going to surround myself with. And it started off with me volunteering for a position within the society. And it ended up with me serving on the board for 10 years, including a 2-year term as president. And I'm absolutely convinced that it was spending time with people who believed change was possible, who had actually done it in their own lives, that changed my life and allowed me to achieve all of my dreams as an artist. And what's the takeaway here? Just being around other artists isn't enough. You need to surround yourself with artists who are also of the growth mindset, who believe success is possible, who believe that your talent can be improved upon, who believe in possibility, and who believe in you, even while you're still learning to believe in yourself. Changing my mindset took me from a life where I buried my dreams to actually living my dream as a full-time artist, from self-doubt to making millions of dollars from the sale of my art, and from living Plan B to living my dream life. And it all started with one decision, just to make the choice to believe that it was possible. So ask yourself, what could change for you if you made that same decision? What would happen if you chose to believe and if you surrounded yourself with people who actually lifted you up? Because it's not your current talent that limits your future. It's your mindset, and you get to choose it. Now, if this message resonates with you, I'd love to help you take the next step. If you click on the link below, you can grab 5 free chapters to my new book that's coming out, You Can Sell Your Art. You'll also get access to some amazing discounts on my courses, including my color and composition course. So if composition is a domino for you, like it was for me, I guarantee you this course will knock it over, and fast. And if you want to surround yourself with artists who believe in growth, progress, and possibility, check out my Hungry Artist community. Go ahead, click the link below. I'd love to help you grow into the artist you were meant to be.